A drive to right field. Castellanos going back. Gone. A grand slam for A-Ray Adrianza.
Facing a new pitcher with 2 outs and the bases loaded, A-Ray Adrianza played the role of hero last night with his first ever career grand slam. The blast to right was the pivotal moment, and the Twins come from behind win over the Tigers. And tonight, they'll look to take the series and gain some ground in the standings with another win in Game 2 inside Comerica Park. Welcome to the Motor City, everyone. I'm Audra Martin. Last night, the 7 hits from the Twins were enough to get the job done in the series opener against Detroit. And 3 of those 7 hits came off the bat of A-Ray Adrianza, who's been on a hot streak for the Twins. In fact, he's been one of the hottest hitters for this team this month so far. Over the last 12 games, he's posted an impressive .371 clip with 9 runs driven in. He also has an extra base hit in each of his last 6 games when he's in the starting lineup. Playing on a more regular basis has certainly helped bring out some of A-Ray Adrianza's natural strengths at the plate.
I think his biggest strength is his athleticism. He's a good athlete. He's got really good hands. So, and generally, most guys that play the middle of the diamond have really good hands, so he's able to use his hands. One thing he's learning to do well now is incorporate his lower half with those good hands, and I think that's why you can see him driving the ball more often, because he has really good hands, but now he's getting a lot of power from his legs and his lower half to drive through some balls. So hopefully it continues that way.
Adrianza and the rest of the offense will look to do their part in support of Jose Barrios tonight, who was dominant in his last time out against Chicago. Dick Bramer and Jack Morris have more on tonight's matchup coming your way next here on Fox Sports North.
North is presented by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. By Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. And by Northland Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. It's a beautiful summer night for baseball in Detroit, and it's the middle game of 3 between the Twins and the Detroit Tigers. Yeah, and the Twins get to face another left-handed starter. They've had problems with Matthew Boyd over the years, and Jose Barrios will make the start for the Twins, coming off a complete game victory. We welcome you to Comerica Park. Dick Bramer and Jack Morris bringing you Game 2. Jose Barrios has emerged as the Twins' ace. Just consider this. There have been only 17 complete games thrown in the American League so far this year, and Barrios has 2 of them.
The kid is showing that every day he takes the mound should be an exciting day for Twins fans. I get excited to know that coming to the ballpark today, I could see something special. It might even be that dreaded no-hitter that nobody wants to ever talk about unless you're an ex-pitcher. But he has the ability to do that every day, and it's so much fun to see a kid just the evolution of him becoming the ace, the closer, the stopper, the go-to guy. It's really, really fun.
I think it's fair to say that the Tigers to this point have overachieved. They've done better than a lot of people thought, but they'll be faced now with a big challenge for the rest of this season, playing without their star player, Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah, it's a sad, sad day here in Detroit because Cabrera last night pulled that bicep muscle right off of his bone, and I saw him today in the clubhouse, and I asked him, Miggy, not good? He said, no, not good. And, you know, that kind of said a lot to me. He knows that he's going to be done for the year, and hopefully he'll come back, that they'll miraculously figure out a way to make that seamless. He'll come back and be as good as he's always been.
For the Twins, they're hoping that Miguel Sano is starting to turn a corner at the plate with some good at-bats last night. He's in the lineup again tonight, even though he hasn't had much success against Matthew Boyd. Game 2 between the Twins and Tigers coming up. Here against the Minnesota Twins. Had kind of an odd start against them at Target Field a few weeks ago. And the Twins have had problems with left-handed pitching, and they've had their problems with Boyd in the past. So we'll see what happens here tonight. Paul Molitor is encouraged with the way the team has played. Some better ball games. Clutch hits. Didn't do a whole lot of hitting till the Twins got into the Tiger bullpen. So they'll try to get into that Tiger bullpen earlier like they did in the first start Boyd made against the Twins. And the lineup for the Twins in the Game 2, Brian Dozier leading off, Eddie Rosario, Eduardo Escobar. Miguel Sano hitting cleanup, even though he's 3 for 18 with 12 strikeouts against Matthew Boyd. Robbie Grossman, Logan Morrison, A-Ray Adrianza, Ryan Lamar, and Bobby Wilson.
And tonight's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture. Matthew Boyd making his 13th start of the season, coming off a win in Boston, his last time out for the 4th win this year. You see his numbers on the year, and like Blaine Hardy last night, this guy can be tough. He throws a lot of breaking balls. I think a better changeup than Hardy had last night, and he's been on quite a roll. So should be a good one tonight.
And control issues against the Twins at Target Field, walking 4 batters in 4 innings. Victor Reyes getting the start in left. Leonis Martin in center. Nicholas Castellanos in right field. Northland Ford bringing you the defense. Then Jamer Candelario, Jose Iglesias, Nico Goodrum, John Hicks in the infield, and Grayson Griner doing the catching. Dozier in the box, and we're ready to go. And the first pitch outside, ball 1. Boyd's been good. You beat the Red Sox at Fenway Park. You've done something.
Yep.
A couple of runs allowed in 6 1/3 innings in his most recent start. And Dozier takes a strike, 1-1.
Now Brian Dozier taking a couple looks. I like seeing that first at bat. If you don't ambush him on the first pitch.
Ooh, got him in the knee.
Ow.
I think.
Ow, ow, ow. It did. That was a breaking ball that just kept biting in. And if it didn't get him on the knee, it got him on the inner shin. And either way, it's hurting. We'll take another look right here. See, it's a slider. Starts out in, looks like right on the kneecap.
Dozier walking gingerly to first base. Tony Leo, one of the trainers. Paul Molitor there as well. 3rd time this year that Dozier's been hit by a pitch. And that was one of the issues Boyd had at Target Field. 4 innings. He walked the first 2 batters of the 5th to bring his walk total to 4. And they got him out of there because he didn't seem particularly sharp. He had a bit of an oblique issue. And they got him out before he re-aggravated it.
Yeah, he didn't pitch deep into the game against the Twins at Target Field, and the Tigers are needing him to do that tonight. Hopefully the Twins will be patient here because it looks like he's misfiring a little bit to start the game.
Rosario squared to bunt, and the pitch was helmet high, 1-0. And not really close again. It's 2-0. He's thrown 5 pitches and 1 strike.
Eddie with 1 for 4 yesterday, scored a run there in the 8th inning. Kind of keeping that streak of his alive.
2-0 to Rosario. And a strike. Been some really good games pitched by Boyd. He got off to a good start, just 1 run allowed in each of his first 3 starts. And he comes into the game with an ERA that you saw, 3.20. Dozier chased back to the bag.
Well, we saw last night in Blaine Hardy, and we're going to see a lot of the same type of stuff here. Matt Boyd will come in. He already shown that with the first hitter and Brian Dozier, but he'll come in on the left end. He knows the importance of that outside corner with his breaking ball, especially to left-handers, and he understands that you got to come in once in a while to make that more effective. Throws a fastball, throws the curveball. He's got a very good changeup, but like Hardy last night, he's going to move the ball around the strike zone and change speeds.
And Rosario swings through an 84-mile-per-hour offering. 2-2.
I call that one the dead fish. It's not a fastball and it's not a changeup. It's not a straight change. It's kind of an in-between pitch. So what you're doing is basically throwing a BP-type fastball and hoping the guy will expand, and that ball perfectly placed in the upper quadrant, inside corner.
Quite a few tosses to keep Dozier close at first. Last night, Ryan Lamar got picked off first base. Chopped up the line. As Boyd delivers to the plate, Dozier his momentum is carrying him backward to first base rather than forward to second base.
Well, and kind of what they call a one-way lead. He's trying to see if he'll throw over there so that he can see the pickoff move and adjust accordingly. And I promise you, nothing a base runner wants more after they get hit is to steal second to show you that they're fine, that you didn't hurt them.
You hit me and I got a double. I'm standing at second base.
I mean, it's kind of human nature, I think.
Fastball taken low. It's a full count. We'll see if Dozier takes off here or whether Boyd throws over there before delivering the pitch. He does not. And a drive to right center field. That's down for a hit. Dozier around second. He'll gain third base. And Rosario is digging for second. And he sprawls into a slide and is safe at second with a throw over Iglesias trying to cover the second base bag.
Well, Leonis Martin is the center fielder, and it's almost like Eddie knew that he was not going to make an accurate throw. You see the ball too much center cut right there. Eddie takes advantage of it, sends it out into right center, and when he breaks out of the box, as we watch Dozier run, here we go, Eddie breaks out of the box. He's thinking two right now, and he turns it on right there, and it's going to be a challenge. He's got a good throw would have got him, but the throw wasn't even close, and now the Twins have something cooking.
Second and third, nobody out. Escobar at the plate. Slow breaking ball missing. Yeah, I don't know. I'll ask you once we watch Boyd here for a couple innings how to contrast Boyd's stuff to Blaine Hardy's last night. But we've already seen one difference. Hardy was strike one. Just about everybody who came up to the plate there. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-1.
Well, right there you saw a little bit better fastball on that last pitch. Boyd can run it up there 94-95 when he really is feeling it. Hardy doesn't throw quite that hard, but Hardy had tremendous control last night, and it was actually fun watching him pitch because of it.
Fouled back, and it's 1-2. Escobar, American League Player of the Week last week. And here's why he's day in and day out been in either the cleanup spot or tonight the third spot in the batting order, because he's been a run producer. Chance to produce some runs here in the first inning tonight. Taken outside, 72 miles per hour.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for Eduardo. Twins haven't scored a lot of early runs. First 3 innings has been a problem, and as a pitcher, you really, really appreciate going to the mound with a lead, and you have a little bit more freedom to challenge hitters because you have room for error.
And that ball hit up the middle of base hit.
Beautiful.
Dozier scores. Rosario will be held. Now he delays and comes home, and he'll score too.
That was perfectly executed again by Eddie Rosario. We've seen that before, where Gene Glenn, the third base coach, holds him up, but Eddie timed it perfect, where he caught the outfielder and the cutoff man right in between and took off again, and it was beautifully executed right there. It's almost like a delayed steal.
Saw him do that on a sacrifice fly a couple of weeks ago. Dozier was going to score. We'll see if we can see Rosario here. A little hesitation.
And then goes again. No throw.
It's a 2-0 lead for the Twins. Still nobody out. And here is Miguel Sano. Outside, ball 1. Sano does have a home run against Boyd, but just 3 hits and 18 at bats and 12 strikeouts. 1-0. Big swing and a foul, and Escobar took off for second. He'll have to return to first.
I'm going to make a prediction. If we watch Miguel Sano and we see him taking full swings, eventually, sooner than later, I think he will get back dialed in, because he's gone through this period of check swing, check swing, check swing so much, and that tells you that he's caught in between. And even on that last swing, he at least took a hack at it, take a pass at it, just in case.
Well, he struck out in his first at bat last night, but at least he saw 6 pitches. He took some close pitches and drew a walk in the later innings, and then hit one off the end of the bat to right field for a single. So, boy, at this point, the Twins are looking for any signs of encouragement that he's ready to break out. 2-1. Lifted to right And coming in is Castellanos. And that's the first out of the inning. Time now for tonight's Pizza Ranch for the win. What the Twins need to do to build a winning streak to 3.
Well, I think we need to figure out how to solve a left-handed pitcher, and with Matthew Boyd today, and already the Twins 2 runs on the board, they're on a good path to doing that. Brios got to continue what he's been doing. Every single time out there, you see a kid gaining more and more confidence. He threw a complete game his last time out against the White Sox, and we got another divisional opponent tonight in Detroit. Let's just hope he can go deep and control this lead now that he has.
Robbie Grossman gets to wear a glove. He's the right fielder tonight with Sano DHing.
He's got 2 on right now.
Gets to wear a fielder's glove and gets to play right field. And he takes outside. Max Kepler 1 for 12 against Boyd. And Max has kind of been struggling a little bit lately anyway, so they decided to give him the day off. At least keep him out of the starting lineup. 1-0 to Grossman. And a strike call. Pretty good breeze blowing out to right center field.
Yeah, we've had a strong wind. If you look way up on top of the light towers in left field, it's straight out to left, but swirling a little bit here inside Comerica.
A favorable hitting wind, we'll call it. And this one lifted foul over the tarp and over the screen and out of play. 1-2.
Yeah, you can even see the ivy and the bushes out in the center field wall, the backdrop, the hitter's eye, I guess they call it. And the wind is really blowing out there.
One and two. And slow breaking ball. Strikes out Grossman, 2 away. That'll bring up Morrison. Tim Timmons with plate duty tonight. Rob Drake will have plate duty tomorrow. A couple times a year we like to remind the viewers that the umpires rotate clockwise. And Mike Malinsky had the plate last night. Now he is at third base.
That would be clockwise.
Here's Morrison. And the Twins need to get Morrison's back going too. All the angst about Miguel Sano, and the fact is Sano's hitting a little over 200 and Morrison's hitting a little under 200.
It's funny, I was talking to bench coach for the Tigers, Lloyd McClendon, who's been with Detroit for many years, and had a long talk with him today before the game, and he looked over in the Twins dugout and said, I like this team. He said,
meaning the Twins.
Meaning the Twins. He goes, I just feel like they can still win this, you know, if they. And he was asking me what's going on there, and I said, you know, Lloyd, I can't really put my finger on it. I just think they haven't really shown their best stuff yet, and that probably is a good thing, because now that we don't have any excuses about weather and cold and all that, it's midsummer baseball. Go out there and start winning and see what kind of team chemistry becomes of it.
Slow breaking ball, 71. You and I will drive back to the hotel
faster than that.
Faster than that.
Well, especially with you driving.
And I need to apologize publicly for a private moment last night. You were my navigator as we went back to the hotel, and I questioned the route you chose. You, Jack Morris, the king of Detroit. and so I need to apologize publicly for that. Here's a ball hit to right center field, hanging in the air, and it drops safely. Running to third is Escobar, and he will be held on a bloop single off the bat of Morrison.
Well, center fielder Martin did not get a good read on that. He's looking right into the sun, and off the bat it looked like that might be in the alley, and it was just kind of a little looping single to right. So he didn't get a good read and didn't get a good jump. You'll watch it unfold here. No center fielder. Where is he? Now he starts coming, and the ball eventually lands right between Castellanos and Martin.
Third hit of the inning, and Adrianza, who's had great success against Boyd, comes up with 2 on and 2 out. Adrianza 4 for 7 against Boyd. Up and away, ball 1. 27 pitches for Boyd, facing his 7th batter of the inning. Adrianza takes 1-1. Average-wise, much better from this side of the plate. He's hitting .351 as a right-handed batter, just 37 at bats. But all kinds of damage done from the other side of the plate. Again on the outside corner at 70. He's going backwards. He's getting slower and slower.
Slower and slower. Sometimes there's pitching coaches that believe that theory, that when you're scuffling, just go slower.
1-2.
Yeah, Array got his first career grand slam last night from the left side.
Morrison, I'm sure, surprised that he was checked at first. As a left-handed batter, Adrianza has 21 hits, but 9 of them are extra base hits. 5 doubles, a triple, 3 home runs. You're trying to poke a 2-strike single into center field. Keep the line moving. And a foul back.
You brought up a point right there that I just thought of a situation that happened to me when Boyd threw over to first base. You mentioned that maybe Logan Morrison was a little surprised that. I remember Cecil Fielder. Nobody ever threw over. He's not going anywhere, right? He clogged up the base pass. And one of the pitchers threw over at him. He looked at our whole dugout. He says, now I'm getting some respect.
Another 1-2 to Adrianza. There goes the runner Morrison, and the pitch grounded foul. Well, how about that?
Yeah, Paul getting a little hit and run action going maybe there with 2 outs. The shortstop, second baseman, well away from second base here, so they figured maybe there's a chance he could trick him and get into second base, get another runner in scoring position.
And another grounder foul, and the marathon first inning for Boyd continues. These got to drive you nuts when you're a starting pitcher and you want to get a little rhythm, and all you're staring at 35 pitches this inning.
Yeah, you're breaking a sweat and you're really getting to the exhausting point in one inning with 33 pitches. And you know, believe it or not, it used to happen more in the early innings than it ever did in the mid or late innings for guys in my era anyway.
Foul back, and there will be a 35th pitch. Boyd tried to get the fastball by Adrianza. He fouled it straight back. .22 strikes. The night got off, at least the inning got off to a really poor start by hitting Brian Dozier in the first plate appearance of the game. 1-2 again to Adrianza. Morrison goes, and a pitch is taken inside. It's ball 2, and now there are 2 in scoring position. Stolen base for Logan Morrison. We won't be saying that too much.
Well, you can see Boyd did not pay attention to him at all. He's focusing on trying to get an out right here. And Morrison got a good read, got a good jump. You can see him taking off from first movement right there. Nobody at second base. Second baseman Nico Goodrum covers the bag, but
23rd Major League stolen base for Logan Morrison. Popped up. And it is the shortstop Iglesias who makes the catch. Twins score a couple, leave a couple, and a long first inning with the Twins leading 2-0. 41 on the year. All smiles for Escobar. And Ron Gardenhire yelling, come on, come on. That was Escobar's signature.
Two guys that
yelp.
Absolutely love each other.
Menard's batting order for the Tigers has Leonis Martin leading off, Nicholas Castellanos, Jamer Candelario, Victor Martinez, John Hicks, Nico Goodrum, Grayson Griner, Jose Iglesias, and Victor Reyes. And a 2-0 lead for Jose Barrios. And the first pitch, low, ball one.
Tonight's starting pitcher stats again brought to you by Home Furniture. Barrios making his 14th start, and he has really been good lately. Got a complete game W his last time out against the White Sox. He's got a 2-run lead to work with tonight. Perfect. And hopefully he'll get 3 quick outs here and get the boys back in the dugout.
Falling behind Martin, 2-0. And there's a strike, 2-1. Barrios pitched against and beat the Tigers on the 21st. 8 innings, 2 earned runs allowed, only 3 hits allowed, and he struck out 9. 2-1 to the leadoff man for Detroit, and now 2-2.
One thing about a young pitcher, you'll see it more consistent with a veteran pitcher, but a young pitcher like Barrios, who is going through a great spurt right now. We saw brilliance early in the season, then a little bit of a hiccup for a few games, and now he's kind of back into a groove. Is the inconsistency, and that's what you have to watch early in the game, is does he have the velocity? Number one, 94 right there on that last fastball. Is his breaking ball sharp? Because if you see those two things, then the command you don't really worry about. He'll get the feel for that. It'll come, hopefully within the first, second inning. But sometimes they drop in velocity, their arm starts dropping a little bit, they rush with their legs. Those are all things that young kids will go through that veterans understand a little bit better.
And a strikeout of Martin. He comes back from 2-0 to get him, 1 down. Take a look at the Twins out in the field. It's a little bit of a different look with Grossman in right, Lamar's in center, Rosario in left, Escobar, Adrianza, Dozier, Morris in the infielders, and Bobby Wilson doing the catching. And there's Grossman out there in right field.
With his fielding glove on. Let's hope. Well, I got a shift on Castellanos to the left side.
And it's hit hard to center, but right at Ryan Lamar, squinting with the sun coming in to center field from the right field foul line. He was able to, with the sunglasses, make the catch.
We'll watch him fight the sun a little bit here. He's got his glasses on, that's good, but it's a tough fielding position right now in center field. More importantly, first pitch out. And those are the things that you really hope the Twins pitching staff starts getting, especially Jake Odorizzi and Kyle Gibson, to watch this guy get quick outs. And pitch count, such a big part of the game for a starter now. If you're going to go deep, 7, maybe 8 innings or more, you've got to keep that pitch count down.
Swinging a foul back. Just reflecting on Lamar, the way he caught that ball, that's pretty smart play. He kind of angled his body away from the sun and was able to kind of catch it sideways. Under the circumstances, that might have been the best way to make that play. 1 strike to Candelario. And now a ball.
Well, the sun's setting in the west. And
it's been doing that for a long time, I understand.
Well, today anyway.
Yeah. 1-1 to Candelario, and the ball fouled over the screen. And Barrios with a nice tidy inning so far, just 10 pitches thrown. That's driven to left. And Rosario towards the line, makes a catch. A nice play by Rosario, taking a very accurate angle on a line drive, and it's a 3-up, 3-down first. Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot is now open and exclusively online. Make sure your favorite Twins are represented on this year's team. Can't vote for pitchers, unfortunately. But vote at twinsbaseball.com/vote and catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th live on Fox. Ryan Lamar to lead off the second. And the first pitch wild outside, ball one. Lamar, Wilson, and Dozier here in the Twins' second. Pitch number 38 coming up already for Matthew Boyd. Right off the end of the bat, it'll stay foul. A couple of years ago, I came up with a grading system for starting pitchers. And we've talked about it on the air, and I don't believe you and I have had the chance to discuss it. It's a measure of a pitcher's ability to consistently give his team 6 innings. This ball lifted foul, and it'll reach the seats too. Now, the average start in the big leagues is 5 1/3 innings. That's not very good. It's one of the reasons the games are so long, because bullpens are brought into the game at halftime almost. So my system is based on a starting pitcher's ability to get 18 outs, 6 innings. There's a breaking ball over, and Lamar is frozen. A strikeout, 1 down. If you go 5 innings, that's -3. And you keep track of plus and minus like you do in hockey with goals, even strength goals being scored. And if you went 7, you'd be a +3 on that day. And when you get to the middle of June, like we are now, you'd have a pretty good measure as to, how much a starting pitcher has been able to give you in terms of outs, how much he's been able to keep the bullpen in the bullpen. Contrast the two starters here today. Boyd this year is a -5, and Jose Barrios is a +17. So that's the background on the stat. What do you think of the stat, first of all?
Well, I would like to adjust the median on that, I guess. If a starting pitcher is asked to go 9 innings, because that's what a starting pitcher used to be asked to do, then you have to start it at 9. Everything would be a minus unless you pitch extra innings, right?
Right.
But in reality,
who would ever do that?
Yeah, nobody does that anymore. So in reality, you got to go with whatever the league average is, and right now that's 5 1/3 as a starter. So there's your median, and you start from there. But I kind of like it. I really do. I think it's an interesting way of evaluating how durable and strong a starting pitcher is, what he means to that bullpen.
And Barrios has had some short starts. He's had 3 starts of less than 5 innings. Check swing, we think. A strike is called, and Wilson's gone on strikes, 2 down.
Looks like Matt Boyd is starting to get a little feel out there with the breaking ball. Quick strikeouts.
And now Dozier with 2 out. So there would be tremendous value, I would think, for a pitcher who at the end of the year, and you can talk about innings pitched, but there were just incredibly 8 starting pitchers last year in the American League who hit 200 innings. Only 8. So this is just another measure of valuing a starting pitcher.
And we have so many different stats that you kind of roll your eyes at and say, really, how important is that? And I'm not going to name them because I'll probably get in trouble if I do, but that makes a little more sense in at least knowing the depth of what your guy can give you, his durability, and what that he could equate to your bullpen activity.
1-1 to Dozier. And most teams are carrying 8 relief pitchers, and if you had a staff, forget being plus. If you just had a staff that was starting rotation that was 0 on my scale, you could get by with 1 fewer relief pitcher. Dozier takes a strike, and it's 2-2.
Yeah, but who would need an extra hitter in an American League game with the DH? How many guys do you need sitting on the bench, right? It's crazy how managers run short of players.
And somebody's got the flu, like Brian McCann right now has the flu bug, or James McCann, I should say. And so, he's on the active roster, but hasn't been playing and probably won't play tonight. Full count to Brian Dozier. Rosario on deck. Dozier, pitch up, might have been ball 4. He fouled it straight back. Dozier hit by a pitch. He scored on an Escobar single. Twins got a couple of runs in the first. And now a full count from Boyd here in the second.
We've talked a little bit about Sano and we talked about Morrison, but Brian Dozier is another guy that can really be an impact player on the Twins, and we need him to get going a little bit. Started this game getting hit in the kneecap.
And he takes ball 4.
And so he's on base for the second time.
And that'll bring up Rosario. Rosario hustled his way to a double. Which opened the way for Escobar's 2-run single. Up and in, ball 1.
That was interesting right there. That last pitch, clearly a ball right as it left his hand, but Eddie Rosario watched it, even though it came almost a foot from his chin. He watched it all the way in.
He takes a strike, 1-1. Slow breaking ball. Fouled back. 1-2. Twins had a tough time with a touch and feel lefty last night. Blaine Hardy, normally a relief pitcher, he's been moved into the rotation, and the Twins didn't do anything against him. And the same type of challenge here tonight with Matthew Boyd. 1-2. And Eddie was waiting for the fastball at 91 and fouled it back.
Now Blaine Hardy, didn't mention it last night, but getting an opportunity to start a few games because Daniel Norris went onto the DL and is on the DL for 60 days here or more.
And Liriano, Jordan Zimmerman, the Tigers have really been hammered by injuries.
Yeah.
And Rosario waits and lifts another foul, and the pitch count continues to mount for Boyd. This will be number 58. He's only retired 5 batters.
Fan in the stand calling his best Michael Jackson, wearing a glove for no apparent reason.
1-2. High pop up. And it is Goodrum crossing the line and in foul ground, making the catch, and Rosario is out. Dozier's left aboard. It's still 2-0.
in Detroit. It's time to get some scoop from the clubhouse. A-Ray Adrianza was very busy last night, responding to about 100 text messages from people congratulating him on that first career Grand Slam. As far as his overall hot streak, he says the biggest key has been his added leg strength. He's been working every day with strength and conditioning coaches and says his lower body is stronger now than it's ever been previously in his career. Last night was a dream come true for Ryan Lamar, who grew up about 60 miles west of Detroit. It was his first time playing at Comerica Park since a high school all-star game his senior year. He had about 200 people here last night cheering him on and says that sac fly in the third felt like a big weight lifted off his shoulders. Joe Mauer DH'd in both of Rochester's games last night, and Paul Molitor says even though he went 0 for 6, it wasn't really about the numbers, more just about getting him back in game action. He's starting at first base tonight, and so far he's 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. He could possibly rejoin the Twins on Friday. Guys.
Thank you, Otter. Ground ball with only one infielder over there. Martinez hit it within Escobar's range, one away. Yeah, I don't think anybody's too concerned about Joe's ability to hit, but whether he can get through the game tonight at first base, and then it sure looks like we have a day game here tomorrow. He wouldn't be here for tomorrow's game, but very likely, the hope is anyway, that we'll see him Friday night in Cleveland.
Yeah, and again, you know, I talked to a lot of people on the other side here in Detroit, and they are very aware of the absence of Joe Mauer in the lineup and what that means to a team that's playing against the Twins. Whether you like him or not for his run production, home runs, all that, he's on base and he makes pitchers work, and Twins need him back in the lineup.
John Hicks, the batter, taking one strike from Barrios, and now a ball hit to short center field, and Lamar coming in, and he makes the catch out number 2, and Barrios is getting some quick outs here. 5 up, 5 down. Looking for a convenient ticket package that fits the demands of your busy schedule? The Flex Plan gives you a bank of 20 tickets to use during the season any way you choose. Go to 10 games with a friend, 20 by yourself, 1 with 19 friends, whatever combination you'd like. The Flex Plan gives you the flexibility to choose only the games you wish to attend, all the way up until the first pitch. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/flex. 2 down, and now Nico Goodrum. And a first pitch strike. Haven't seen Barrios faster than 93 miles per hour, but I think that's by design, and we've seen him improve his command by decreasing his velocity. And we showed you the 6 strikeouts to 1 walk ratio, and I think better command and with it lower velocity is a big part of that. 1-2.
No question. He's getting a feel. It's hard to fault him right now because he's got a good idea.
And Goodrum just took him deep.
Yeah.
Barrios asking for a new baseball before the ball landed in the right field seats. A breaking ball, and Goodrum golfed it out.
Slow breaking ball. I think there should be some emphasis on that because it's almost like Goodrum knew it was coming. And let's face it, they know each other. And he went and golfed it. You're right. Watch him go down after this pitch. Ball's down, but kind of right in the wheelhouse there for Goodrum, and he barreled it up.
And it's a 2-1 ball game, and now Grayson Griner.
I think that, again, emphasizes how important it is to get a lead for a pitcher early. Jose Barrios just gave a home run. Big deal. That's what he's thinking. That's what you have to think as a pitcher. All right, you got to hit off me. That's the first hit you got, and I'm still winning by a run. And now he's just got to get back to business. So you get a little breathing room, but you don't lose any confidence, and you're not on pins and needles having to make a perfect pitch.
Hack to the right side, and Barrios missed the ball, but now he'll go to the bag.
Good play.
And Morrison finds him. They were teammates in Fort Myers, in Chattanooga, in Rochester, and Goodrum just took his former teammate deep. It's 2-1. money for prostate cancer research. Since June 1st, over $1.35 million have been raised in the challenge, and you can make a pledge by going to homerunchallenge.org. In addition, the Twins will donate $10,000 for each home run hit by a Twins hitter and a $1,000 donation for each strikeout recorded by a Twins pitcher this week, June 12th to the 17th. Eduardo Escobar, a 2-run single in the first. It's a 2-1 ball game now as we go to the third. To this point, Detroit starter Matthew Boyd has not delivered one first pitch strike.
And he's trailing by 2 or 1 now.
There's a first pitch strike. Escobar, Sano, and Grossman.
And 1 of 12 now in first pitch strikes.
Outside, 1-1.
Well, he clearly was out of sync in the first inning and started with the leadoff man Brian Dozier getting hit in the knee on a slider, but settled in a little bit better in the second.
Lifted down the left field line.
That's
a foul ball. Seattle beat the Angels 8-6 as they continue to.
Think they can make a run with Houston?
Well, they're now a game ahead of the Astros.
But that doesn't answer my question. Houston's pretty good.
And a liner to Iglesias. Well hit ball off the bat of Escobar, 1 away. Gotta believe, wouldn't you, that the Houston starting rotation eventually will be so good that they'll be able to get past Seattle.
I think.
But we've seen the Mariners and they look awfully good.
They're playing well right now.
You got 2 teams playing well over 600 ball in the West and 2 teams playing nearly 700 ball in the East. So there's some urgency for the Twins to try to get closer to Cleveland.
You got to understand, we're just lulling them to sleep. They're going to just it's a rope-a-dope. They're going to spend themselves a little bit, and the Central's going to come on strong, and the Twins will just be the horse that wins the race right at the wire.
All right. Tortoise and the hare.
Yeah.
There you go. This one dribbled foul, and Sano now has a 2-1 count.
I say that tongue-in-cheek and half jokingly, but there is some validity to the fact that it's playing well in September and October that really matters the most. You got to get there first.
2-1 to Miguel Sano. Up and away. Last year, of course, the Twins were a wild card entrant with 85 wins. There were only 5 teams last year that had winning records in the American League. Fouled back 2-2.
Another good swing right there. The previous pitch, he tracked it well, off-speed pitch, and last time up, Boyd got Sano on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball, inner half, about thigh high, and he came right back there. And you can see Miguel trying to get the barrel out.
And trying to protect the plate, lifting a foul on a pitch that was near the outside corner. Still 3-2. And a foul tip, I believe. Yep. Sano's at bat still alive.
There's that good changeup, 77 miles an hour, and Sano got a little bit of it, so that could be a good sign too. Good changeup, great location, down and away.
Called third strike. Breaking ball on the outside corner, 2 down.
Now the old backdoor breaking ball right there. See where the catcher sets up, so they're not really trying to come in with it. They just want it in the strike zone, and it backdoors him.
That'll bring up Grossman. He went down on strikes his first time up. Four of the first 6 batters got hits, and now no Twins batter has gotten a hit since. Excuse me, 3 of the first 6 batters. Grossman takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Twins looking for win number 30 on the season. The Tigers already have 31 wins, but they've lost 3 more games than the Twins have. Outside, 2-1. Three and one. Morrison on deck. This one driven to right. Castellanos retreats and makes the catch. A 1-2-3 third. Bottom of the inning coming up, and it's 2-1 Twins. By Dr. Howard Sewell, the Executive Vice President of the Prostate Cancer Foundation, and to talk a little bit about the fundraising drive that we just mentioned a half inning ago. Howard, good to have you on Twins Television, and I know it's a project that you've been involved with for quite some time. It was interesting today. I saw a PSA hosted or voiced by Joe Torre, who is a survivor of prostate cancer. Ron Gardenhire, the Detroit manager, went through a bout of prostate cancer, and it was interesting in the spot. There's a ball lined down the line, and it's a fair ball into the corner. And Grossman will fire it back in. It's a leadoff double for Iglesias. But 1 in 7 men will at some point be diagnosed with prostate cancer.
Yeah, it's actually 1 in 9. And getting diagnosed and getting appropriate treatment can save your life.
And what's involved in getting checked and regularly and all that?
We men are not good at this. We need to do better.
I am.
We should get a physical every year, which I do, and talk to your primary care physician about prostate cancer screening, because it could save your life.
What age? What age should?
Well,
men
the American
start?
the American Cancer Society states that 50 should begin screening for Caucasian men, and probably earlier in the 40s for men of African descent. In African American men, it appears to be a more aggressive disease that's diagnosed at an earlier age. We don't understand why, but it is, and they require special attention.
1 strike to Victor Reyes, and now strike 2. And we mentioned Ron Gardenhire went through it, and he will tell you that the early diagnosis is what has saved his life. Joe Torre, I'm sure, would say the same thing.
Yes, and with Father's Day coming up, if we have sons, we have fathers, we want to, pay respect to our bodies, to our health and our well-being. We owe it to ourselves to think about this and do something about it.
We'll talk a little bit about the fact that there are screening processes and, you know, getting checked is very important, because what I've been told is that if you get it early enough, there's a really good probability that you can get fixed.
Almost 100% if it's caught at an early stage and an early grade. And that is true, and it's a part of the blood test in an annual physical. It doesn't hurt, it doesn't embarrass you.
Right.
It's just very simple. Every man should do it.
What
I'm excited about being here tonight, first of all, I was a native of Minneapolis for 2 years. I lived there. I love the city. Awesome place. You have a great cancer center at the University of Minnesota. So the money that we have raised through Major League Baseball and through coming to these games and people pledging against home runs has in part led to the discovery of 7 new FDA-approved drugs that prolong and improve the lives of men with really bad advanced prostate cancer. That's where we put most of our money. So being out here in the ballparks, and between myself and Mike Milken, you know, we will see every team play this year. Every team in Major League Baseball is so supportive, and we are really thankful for that.
1-2 to Victor Reyes. Reyes trying to, the ball hit towards short, scooped up by Adrianza. He'll get the out, but Iglesias alertly scampers to third, 1 away. I know we've had Michael Milken on the air with us, and for a number of years when he was a little younger, obviously, Tommy Lasorda would make the tours with him.
Traveling with Tommy was a blessing of my life.
Well, the Twins, of course, have been behind this. Major League Baseball has been behind this for a number of years, and the Twins MLB component has raised over $700 million just with the home run pledges that we've had ongoing for many, many years. And so we encourage people to make that pledge, make that donation. Twins donating $10,000 for every home run the Twins hit this week. So not only was the grand slam by Adrianza last night dramatic, it was expensive. Twins had to we'll write out a check for $10,000 for that home run, and do so gladly. And
that money is helping to prolong the lives of men with prostate cancer, and we are so thankful for that.
1-0 the count to Leonis Martin. Went down on strikes his first time up, and this is a situation where Barrios could use a strikeout, and he falls behind Martin 2-0. He did so in the first inning and came back to strike him out.
Well, both Dick and I are proud members of the family of baseball here in America, and I think baseball's done just an absolutely wonderful job of trying to make people aware of all cancers and fight all forms of cancer, but prostate cancer is certainly a big part of it for men. What percentage does prostate cancer have in men overall? Do you know that?
Well, 1 in 9 will be diagnosed. And that's pretty significant.
Yeah, at some point.
At some point in their life. And whether it needs treatment or if it can just be watched is a question that can only be answered between the patient and his physician. But knowing what you need to know is critical to save your life.
2-1 to Martin. Ball hacked towards third, a foul ball, 2-2.
Well, the reason I asked you some of these questions, I just went through the whole screening process. I'm at the point in my life where I'm like you. I get a physical every year, and there was a red flag, so I had to go through some of the more extended procedures, and glad to report that I'm just fine. But you know, I'm more aware, and I think for me, maybe to say this to some viewers and listeners, that there's nothing to be embarrassed about. You want to take care of yourself. You want to live a long, productive life, so get in there and get checked.
Find out. Understand.
3-2 now to Martin, with the Twins bringing the infield in after the second strike.
And you won't stop being vigilant at this point.
No, I won't. I won't. In all aspects of my health. So, can you help me on a diet plan?
Caloric restriction.
Full count to Martin, and he walked him, and Martin will go to first, and that'll bring up Castellanos.
First walk for Barrios.
Well, but Jack, I was going to ask anyway, in terms of prevention, are there diets that you can undertake to lower your risk?
Well, really tough question.
Yeah.
A lot of studies have been done. Nothing is conclusive. I would say if you're eating a heart-healthy diet, you're doing the best you can to prevent all diseases.
Right.
So watch the calories, avoid alcohol, obviously don't smoke cigarettes, exercise. These are lifestyle things and choices in addition to diet that could make a difference in your overall health.
Barrios hoping to get a double play grounder. He's got 3 infielders on one side of the infield, and Castellanos takes outside ball 1. Castellanos hit the ball hard his first time up, lining out to Lamar in center field, and he's 5 for 11 with a home run against Barrios. And now Wilson to the mound. Castellanos getting some discussion from the Twins dugout over something. So the Twins use a mound visit here in the 3rd inning. Barrios trying to cling to a 1-run lead.
Doc, I want to ask one more question because
Sure.
I never got a conclusive answer from my urologist, and I was down at Mayo and local hospital in St. Paul. But the question about PSA and how it goes up and down, have they ever had any research to prove why?
A lot. I mean, so many things can affect PSA. If you ride a bicycle for 50 miles, your PSA can go up. Things that stimulate the gland in ways that it wouldn't be stimulated just sitting around like we are right now watching a great baseball game. It's the irritation, it's the inflammation. Infection can cause PSA to go up. So your urologist knows these things, and they're not going to make a decision on your status based on one PSA test. Usually it's 2 and sometimes more, and now there's good imaging, much better imaging. Maybe you had some of that imaging.
Yeah. Well, we'll discuss all what I've gone through myself, but how often should that PSA be checked?
Well, if you're just a normal Joe, once a year or less is enough, unless you're in a high-risk group, if you have a first-degree relative, or if your urologist or even your primary care doctor finds reasons to test you more often. You're probably on an annual plan now.
I am now, yeah. But that's all because of being proactive in my physicals and just want to stay ahead of the curve in all aspects of my health now at this point in my life.
3-1 to Nicholas Castellanos. Tigers threatening to tie the game, maybe take the lead. And a throw to first, and close at first. Martin just got back. And the Twins may look at that.
Oh, he was leaning, but I think he got his hand back quick.
No challenge. And a dangerous pitch to a really hot hitter. And a hitter with good history against Barrios. 3-1. Runner goes, a swung on and missed, throw to second, not in time. It's a stolen base, and Iglesias stays at third base. Dr. Sewell, thank you so much for stopping by, and we will hope for more Twins home runs than opponent home runs, but we'll hope for a lot of home runs this week.
Go Twins.
All right. Dr. Howard Sewell, the Executive Vice President of the Prostate Cancer Foundation. Well, Barrios has worked himself into a bit of a jam here now. 2nd and 3rd, only 1 out. And it's a full count to Castellanos. Checked his swing, or did he? Strike 3. Castellanos is out. The out recorded finished at first base, 2 away. So a big check swing strikeout. For the time being, Iglesias left at third base.
Yeah, this is a huge out right here. You see that he goes a little too far, way out in front.
Really?
Oh yeah, that barrel, that ball would have hit his barrel. It could have gone out of the ballpark.
I thought he checked. I thought he checked.
He did, way out in front of the plate.
Here's Jamer Candelario. And Castellanos I don't know this. I suspect he might be going to the video room to take a look at that check swing.
Well, he's going to find out what we just discovered. He's out.
Did he check the swing?
He's out.
Second and third, 2 down. Candelario takes up ball 1. Inning started with an Iglesias double into the right field corner. Then a ground out, a walk, a stolen base, a check swing strikeout.
Now this is where a pitcher makes or breaks a start.
1-0. And a pop-up foul out of play, 1-1.
These are the at-bats. This is the critical points of games. The good ones can navigate their way out of this without any further damage and continue with the lead. And you work hard to get that second out, the strikeout. You've got to really bear down here to get this final out of the inning.
1-1 to Candelario. Foul back, 1-2.
And now with 2 quick strikes, he's got a chance to maybe get him to expand. He can throw the breaking ball away. He can come in on it. 23 pitches already for Barrios this inning, so that's the same that he's had in the first 2 innings.
He is ahead of Candelario, who has faced Barrios twice, has struck out and lined out to left tonight in his first at bat. Popped up out of play. Expect to see Candelario hitting third. Victor Martinez moved back into the 4th spot in the batting order with Miguel Cabrera lost for the season after his injury last night. Another 1-2 to Candelario. Nice stop by Wilson. He's had a couple of those this inning.
Saves a run. Let's see how Bobby Wilson shifts to his right, gets that chest down over the top of the ball.
As late and as much as that ball breaks, that can't be an easy one to block.
No, you've got to. That's an instinct from just practice, and understanding what a breaking ball does. And to get his body and square it up, that's the key for a catcher, is to get that body squared up so that the chest protector can keep it in front of you and end up back towards home plate.
2-2. And another foul ball.
94 fastball that just wasn't quite in enough.
But we have seen this inning, to the point we were making earlier, 93, 93, 93, and now we've seen as high as 95 this inning. It's there when he feels he needs it.
And what comes to mind is the guy that used to be in the other dugout, now with Houston. Justin Verlander is the guy that in the recent years has been able to dial it up in these situations, and you know, that's a real plus for a pitcher that can do that. Not everybody can.
And a fastball at 95 struck him out. Tigers got a leadoff double, but Iglesias is left at third, and the Twins' lead is preserved.
Double!
Presented by Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. Beautiful night here in Detroit. And the Twins have a 2-1 lead. We go to the 4th inning. Logan Morrison will lead things off. Great job by Barrios.
Yep.
Getting out of that mess in the bottom of the 3rd inning.
Back-to-back strikeouts and reaching back a little bit extra for that last one against Candelario.
Most of the time, Morrison's up there and the infield is shifted. Not so much. Well, it's still shifted, but it's a kind of a semi-shift with the 2 infielders on each side of the second base bag. Now, we've all seen enough of the shifts.
Yeah, this is an interesting one. You see both second baseman and first baseman on that side, and then these guys are shifted to the right side themselves.
1-1. So I want to ask you, because one of the suggestions for combating the shift, rather than putting the onus on the hitter, but actually legislating that there has to be 2 infielders on each side of the second base bag. You could draw a chalk line through the bag and into center field, and you'd have to have 2 infielders on each side of second base. Slow breaking ball, 72 miles per hour, and it's 2-2. I have my thoughts on that, but first I want to get yours.
I don't know why we have to do that. I mean, that's never been in the rule book. So, you know, obviously this is something new to baseball. They didn't start shifting in the 40s. This is something new, and it's through all the knowledge of spreadsheets and those kind of things that they've come up with this. But I got to believe it's a hitter begging to put those fielders back in position because, you know, they need their hole wide open again.
Or you could learn to combat the shift with what you do with the bat in your hands.
Be able to have a little more bat control? No. Come on.
2-2 to Morrison. Big pop-up near the Twins dugout, and that'll be out of play too. It was over 100 years ago. Wee Willie Keeler says, I hit them where they ain't. Well, if they ain't over there, meaning the fielders, then go ahead and hit them over there.
Well, that used to be a part of the game, and unfortunately it's my belief, I take it, it's your belief, that that's when baseball was a little bit better. Now we have different theories about, you know, launch angles and you know, uppercut swings to hit the ball into seats.
3-2 now to Morrison.
The importance of multi-run innings through the long ball, and instead of moving runners and trying to put pressure on the pitcher and getting pitch counts up, one swing of the bat can determine the outcome of the game. And it's a valid argument. I mean, everybody's going to have their opinion, and we'll see if baseball makes adjustments as we go forward.
3-2 to Morrison, and he hits it into the shift, and Boyd has to cover the bag, and he gets there just ahead of Morrison. 1 away. Goodrum to the pitcher. 1 away. We'll bring up Adrianza. Cheer on the Twins as they take on the Rangers Friday, June 22nd. The first 10,000 fans get a Nothing Falls But Raindrops Buxton bobblehead presented by Pantene. Go to twinsbaseball.com/tickets and learn more. Here's Adrianza, hit a pop-up after a long at bat, leaving a couple of runners in scoring position in the first. Chopper, second hop, fielded by Candelario, a low throw, but in time to get Adrianza 2 down.
Well, there's a change that you haven't seen, we didn't see in our generation in the game, that I think is a change for the good. Candelario kind of bobbles the ball. He's got to go deep to his right, but they're taught now to get rid of the ball quick and throw it low, because a first baseman can pick the ball and help you on the other end. It's a one hopper to the first baseman Hicks, but it's a great throw, and because he got rid of it quickly, he still had plenty of time to get Adrianza.
2 down, and now Ryan Lamar called out on strikes his first time up, and he takes fastball for strike. That's hit to center. And getting turned around and finally coming in to make the catch is Martin. And now 7 in a row set down by Matthew Boyd. Ready to take on the greatest golfers in the world at the 118th U.S. Open. Live coverage begins tomorrow from Shinnecock Hills on Fox FS1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. On another golf note, your mound opponent in Game 7 of the 91 World Series, John Smoltz, qualified for the Senior Open.
That's impressive. It really is. He's a avid golfer, has been his whole life. And this is something he wanted to do, and I know that for a fact. And congratulations, John. I'm not going to golf with you, but I'll kick your tail in fishing any day of the week, kid.
All right. One strike to Victor Martinez. John Hicks and Nico Goodrum will follow. Tapped up the right side. Martinez.
Take your time.
Has no chance of making this even close. One away.
Quick out.
How good of a golfer are you?
I don't play enough to even think about it. I play golf for fun. I enjoy being out there. The camaraderie, the great, beautiful golf courses that we get to play once in a while.
I think the only golf connection I have with you, I was off in the woods looking for one of my drives once, and I found a golf ball that said blackjack. and I gave it to you. I don't even know if you remember that. It was about 5 years ago.
Are you trying to insinuate it could have been mine?
No. It was a ball landing at the feet of Rosario, and Hicks was aboard with a one-out single. No, it was a brand name. I was trying to find a Titleist, and what I was hitting, and I found something called a blackjack. I figured, well, I got to give that to Morris. And
yeah.
Here's Goodrum. He homered for the lone Tiger run against Barrios.
Apparently, it did not do me a whole lot of good either.
You probably haven't.
I lost that in some woods somewhere.
We kind of shortchanged the relationship between Barrios and Goodrum. They've played together throughout. Going back to Cedar Rapids, low class A ball, they were teammates, and then through AA, through AAA, and of course, last year briefly in the big league on the big league roster. Goodrum was up in September.
And let me speak to this: how hard it is for both the hitter and the pitcher to face somebody you know and care about, has been teammates with. This is a challenge because there's other thoughts going through your mind. It's so hard to focus, whether you're the hitter or the pitcher, to focus at your task, on your task.
They spent the entire 2013 season together in Cedar Rapids, most of the 2014 season in Fort Myers. In 2015 they were together in Chattanooga. 2016 they kind of split apart there, with Barrios graduating to AAA and eventually the big leagues, and then again last year, again when Goodrum was called up at the end of the year.
Go back to that last pitch. That was the same location as his home run. but the home run was a breaking ball that he was able to time. I think it was in the low 80s. That one 93, and he had no chance. That ball was by him.
At the knees, a strike, 2-2. Breaking ball down and in, and Goodrum hammered it.
Yep. Yeah, he didn't miss that one.
Two and two to Nico Goodrum. Fastball away, 3-2. Last thing you want to do after the guy homered against you is walk him the next time, right?
Well, that's true. You don't want to walk anybody with a 1-run lead. You already got a base runner on, so you don't want to put a guy in scoring position. Get a ground ball here. See if you maybe get a double play if it's hit hard enough at somebody.
Got him on the inside corner with a fastball, 2 down.
That's a great pitch right there. Great location.
Goodrum double checking with Tim Timmons, wondering about the location.
4th strikeout for Barrios.
That front hip fastball. You could see Goodrum backing away from a pitch that was darting away from him.
You know, and those are the pitches, and I'm not saying the same velocity, but those are the type of pitches that made some of the best pitchers of all time. And
Greg Maddux.
Greg Maddux is the one that we're talking about right here, where he'd start the pitch at the guy's knee and bring it back over the plate as a left-handed hitter.
Breaking ball called a strike. Grayson Greiner, the batter, hit a ground ball to Morrison his first time up. Brian McCann 5 for 11, a couple of home runs against Barrios, but he's been beset by a flu bug. So he is not in the lineup, and Grayson Greiner gets a chance to catch outside, 1-1.
We haven't seen a lot of those pitches right there from Barrios yet. Big sweeping slider. Haven't seen a lot of curveballs either, but he's commanded that fastball fairly well.
There's a called breaking ball again.
That one wasn't the best. You kind of be careful with that one. That's kind of that flat slider that stays over the middle of the plate. But quickly 2 strikes. Get the signs from Bobby Wilson. Curveball.
Better pickoff throw than they'd have had him. Morrison had to reach across his body to catch the pickoff throw. Hicks was well off the bag. Breaking ball, Wilson blocked it. Might have blocked it with his bare hand. 2-2.
I got a question for you.
Okay.
Shows here that Greiner 6'6", 220. Does he look that big?
Yes.
He's a big man, isn't he? 6'6", 220. Big strike zone.
Stands straight up there. And he chases up and in at 94. Hicks is left at first and on to the 5th, a 2-1 ball game. And tonight's Pepsi fan of the game, thumbs up, with the Twins leading 2-1. Gloating next to her friend, a Tiger fan. And a Tiger fan sitting next to a Twins fan. Again, Bobby Wilson takes ball one. Bet that they had to have had a buffer zone in the '87 playoffs, don't you think? At Tiger Stadium between the Tiger fans.
Oh, yeah.
Fouled back just beneath us.
Little different times back then.
Wilson went down on a check swing his first time up.
Well, pitch count is going to become an issue here for Matthew Boyd. He's been pitching well since the first inning. He threw 36 pitches in that first inning, but because of that, even though it seems to be settling in now, you know, if you're Ron Gardenhire, do you let him go much beyond 100?
And Wilson takes low 2-2. Well, clearly where the Tigers are at now, if they're going to err, they're going to err on the side of caution. And they've got some young arms that, like Boyd's, that they think might be a part of the solution in the coming years. That ball wide outside 3-2.
Well, and again, you know, we speak as the inning starts, and the inning could dictate how far he goes just by what the Twins do against him, but certainly doesn't want to walk the number 9 guy, the leadoff hitter.
And he just did. Wilson draws a walk. And again, in the start at Target Field, Twins didn't do much against him at all through 4 innings. But then he walked the first 2 men in the 5th and had the oblique tweak, and that was it. They were going again. If they were going to err, they were going to err on the side of caution. Right. Here's Dozier. He's been hit by a pitch and he's walked. Up and in. And I'm with you. I don't think it would take much for Brian Dozier to get that feel back, but it's been so long since he squared a ball up. Doesn't even have to be a home run. A double, I think, would
a good
help him get
hit.
that feel back. And been doing an awful lot of that. Popped straight up in the air. And it is, for what it's worth, a foul ball catch by Candelario, 1 away. And that'll bring up Rosario. Rosario doubled and scored the 2nd run in the first inning. And he performed his stop and go move around third base for the 2nd time this year.
I think it was better this time than it was the first time. You get that outfielder to think you're stopping, and then they kind of lackadaisically throw it into the cutoff man, and that's when you pour on the afterburners, and that's what he did and scored.
Pitches up and in.
You know, and he really didn't even stop. He was still moving, even though it looked like he was putting on the brakes to go back to third base.
The irony is, in each case, it was Leonis Martin in center field on May 21st, and again here tonight. Swing and a foul. Let's go back to May 21st. It was a fly ball with Rosario at third. It wasn't a deep fly ball at all. And Rosario just took a bunny hop off a third, stopped, and then went and scored easily. And here tonight, kind of the same thing, only Rosario starting at second base. And the double clutch, and that's all it took.
You know,
and Rosario lifts it foul, 1-2.
I was out here early today, as you were too, and Ron Gardenhire had his outfielders out there taking some throws. Novel idea. They used to do that every day, called infield,
right,
where outfielders and infielders would throw, and baseball somehow again decided that that wasn't good anymore. But what I saw is if I was watching that today, I'd never stop at third, because not one of the outfielders could throw an accurate throw home. And rarely did they hit the cutoff
corner. Yeah. 2-2 to Rosario.
Twins need to get some offense generated here. Just 1-run cushion for Barrios. Oh.
And Rosario was ready to swing at that pitch until he realized it was almost going to hit him.
That's what makes him unique. He is ready to swing, and he had one up and in earlier that was about a foot away from his chin. He tracked it all the way in. Watch this. He's about ready to take a hack at it and then realizes it might have hit his elbow if he would have stayed there.
Escobar on deck, 3-2 to Rosario. And he hits it up the middle, skips over the bag. They get one, but not two. Well, Wilson forced at second base. That ball went right over the bag, and Tigers are able to get an out at second base, and that'll bring up Escobar. He's not going to give many Twins hitters on a 3-2 count a fastball. At least he hasn't so far. And Escobar, who drove in the 2 runs with a single, will hit here with a runner at first and 2 down. The Twins sent Morrison to second on a stolen base in the first inning, so maybe they feel they've got something on him in his delivery to the plate. There's a swing and a miss, 1 strike. So we'll see if Rosario takes off here. There have been so many off-speed pitches and so many pitches in the low 70s. Conservative lead by Rosario, and now swinging a foul, and it's 2 strikes to Escobar. Counter argument, of course, is Escobar's been an extra base hitting machine. Why would you risk making the 3rd out with him at the plate?
Yeah, those are decisions managers have to weigh the odds.
Rosario 5 for 6 in stolen bases.
Quite
Wild
honest,
high.
there's been studies done about how much less of the hit and run, the bunt, the old school type of things that baseball does anymore. The research says that they fail more than they succeed, so more and more teams are doing less and less of them.
Lifted foul. We were talking a couple weeks ago about how there's hardly ever a pitch out anymore. You rarely see them, and sure enough, in Fernando Romero's last start, they asked him to pitch out, and he ended up throwing pretty much a wild pitch. It was, I think Wilson was the catcher. He couldn't even catch it. It was so far off target. If you don't practice things in the minor leagues, then it's kind of hard to execute them up here.
Well, in his defense, every generation has done that. I know a lot of guys, including the guy you're talking to right now, who probably threw a pitch out at some point and threw it to the backstop.
1-2 to Escobar.
Sometimes you're so used to throwing to a target, and a pitch out, they hold their glove out. Well, that's not a pitch out, that's a intentional walk, but they pop up quick, and you're trying to hit a moving target. That's not always an easy thing for a pitcher, because it's not like a rollout in a pass pattern for a quarterback.
104 pitches, no activity in the Tiger pen, and no hint of activity. 1-2 to Escobar.
So much for being cautious.
And now 2-2.
And Gardy needs some length out of Boyd.
Oh, he sure does. Prior high in pitches thrown in a game, 102. 2-2 to Escobar. And 78 miles per hour. An off-speed pitch gets another strikeout, and the Twins still lead 2-1.
tied at 6 in the bottom of the 9th, and with the rain falling and the roof closing, Mitch Haniger says, don't even worry about it, guys, I got this, and cranks a 2-run shot over the wall in left for the walk-off win. It's Haniger's 3rd home run in 2 nights, all helping the Mariners sweep the Angels and get to 20 games above 500 and lead in the AL West, guys.
A lot of walk-off wins for Seattle, and what, 22 one-run wins. I mean, half their wins, I believe, are by 1 run.
Yeah, those are the games that decide championships, quite honestly. Everybody's in them until that one swing, and what's more exciting for fans than a walk-off?
Little guy, about 7 years old, made a great catch with his glove and caught it right in front of his family. In front of the guy in the orange shirt. The guy in the gray shirt made a nice backhanded catch. There's a half swing and no swing. It's 1-2. Look at this.
Little brother, that's how it's done.
Look at that. He
saved mom from tooth work.
Yeah. Yeah, ho-hum. Done it a million times before. 1-2. This one hit to left field, and Rosario tracks it down again. Second time that he's made a sprint toward the line to make a catch of a line drive.
This was a great catch, and the route efficiency outstanding. Ran right to where that ball was going to, really the only place he was going to be able to catch it. Right to the corner, straight at the ball, sprint. Great job by Eddie right there.
1 down, and now Victor Reyes hit a ground ball to short his first time out. Reyes doesn't play much. Used as a pinch runner a lot by Ron Gardenhire. And a drag bunt. Dozier flips. Good play by Dozier. Oh, what a play! Glove to glove. Brian Dozier to Logan Morrison.
Wow. Let's just hope. I'm sure they're going to review this because it was a bang play, but just the fact that he's able to flip it with his glove, because he's not going to have time to do it any other way, and accurately gets it. I don't know if he was out or not. We're going to have to see. But still a great play.
I think they're going to challenge this. Well, maybe not. This might be the definitive view. They are going to challenge it. Yeah, they're going to challenge it.
Yeah.
Very little reason not to. You can see foot's on the bag, ball not in the glove. That's a heck of a play by Dozier, and only Reyes' speed is able to potentially make this a base hit.
Well, it was a great play by Dozier because he's playing back at normal depth, and that ball was placed perfectly. You got to remember, Rios is an excellent athlete himself and reacted well to the ball, but it got by him. That's where you need to lay down a bunt when you hit it towards second, get it by the pitcher. And once it got by him, it was only going to be Dozier with an opportunity, and he did everything he could possibly do. But we're going to see what they call it. Boy, that's close.
And the fans think that he's safe. I think that he's safe.
They're not in New York, and they're not going to decide.
And neither am I.
And how many times have we been right?
It's no better than a coin flip for me. I know that.
You got to remember, these are umpires in New York, and their friends are on the field making these calls. So a lot of the close plays, they're not going to overrule their buddies.
See, the ball's still in flight, hasn't been stopped by Morrison's glove by one frame, if you can still use that term in the
but from that angle, because he has
digital video,
now his foot's on the bag.
Right, and the ball's not in the back of the glove yet, I don't think. But again,
the guy that's controlling that, this guy right here, looks like our old buddy Carl Willis.
I'm not sure that Carl would take that as flattery, but and we'll see how this is ruled here in New York. Reyes, a Rule 5 pickup from the Diamondbacks. Again, he doesn't play much. His greatest asset is his speed. And here we go. Here comes the verdict, we think. Safe, and it is a hit for Reyes. A bunt single. And he and his speed are aboard with one out in the fifth. Leonis Martin will bat.
That was an example of taking another look in the challenge. I think that worked in the right way. It's we could have flipped a coin whether or not, and I sure understand the guy at first base, the umpire who had to make that play without the benefit of a slow motion camera, and how easy it is to get him right or wrong. But let's get it right, and they ruled it, I think, the right way.
Fouled away, and you can't see a replay like that without thinking of the Galarraga perfect game bid, broken up by Jim Joyce's call at first base. Joyce, to no one's surprise, took ownership of it, felt terrible about it. And that was here at Comerica Park. One strike to Martin. That's close.
And he dropped the ball.
Dropped the ball. Barrios gave up a stolen base in the third inning. Martin stole it in the third, but there was a runner at third at the time, only one out at the time. And then Barrios went to work, striking out Castellanos and Candelario.
Pickett.
And Morrison can't pick it. And it will be first and second with one down. A smash. And Morrison tried to backhand it, and it got him on the heel of the glove, I believe. First and second, one down for Castellanos.
Well, you see the ball's right at him, but he backhands it. Instead of taking one slide step to his left, he tries to backhand it and hit off the heel of his glove.
And they give him a base hit. First and second, one down, and Castellanos struck out on a check swing, leaving two runners in scoring position. And then Candelario did the same thing when the Tigers were threatening to tie the game, at least, maybe even take the lead.
Well, kind of the same scenario here. He needs two outs, and you got at least the team's best hitter at the plate right now.
Probable all-star, especially with Cabrera gone for the season now, but Castellanos has put numbers worthy of an all-star selection on his own. Barrios has gotten him twice, a line out to Lamar in the first and the check swing strikeout in the third, but Castellanos has had a lot of success against Barrios. One strike. Check swing on a fastball inside. Tigers out hitting the Twins 5-3.
Yeah, the Twins got all their hits in the first inning.
Popped up.
That'll work.
And Morrison calls off Dozier. Infield fly rule called, even though it was in the short outfield grass. Two down. And that'll bring up Candelario.
Good break right there. Good spot away right on the corner.
And now Candelario with the tying run at second and two down.
And now the infield can go back to normal depth. Morrison all the way back on the grass at first base.
Swinging a foul back.
Well, there's been some high stress pitches for Barrios in this game so far. He's only have 75 pitches, you can see there, but he's been under a little stress here at times tonight. Had to pitch himself out of jams, and again, that's part of the learning process to navigate through these kind of situations.
In there for a strike, 0-2.
2 quick strikes, so he's in the driver's seat here.
Candelario with a line out to left and the strikeout that ended the threat in the third. Very high and outside, 1-2. Reyes, the tying run at second, Martin at first. A couple of infield hits have given the Tigers a threat here in the fifth. And Wilson will.
Yeah, you'll just go out and ask him what he wants to throw. And this is Barrios' call right here. You know, Wilson being the veteran, he probably has a plan and might even know the hitter better than Jose does. And I think that's what we just saw there. I think he talked him into a pitch where Barrios had something else in mind, didn't get the signal that he wanted. So it's good to see them both get on the same page here. And now Barrios has got to throw the pitch that Bobby Wilson wanted with confidence.
1-2. And they're going to send him to first base. Candelario was brushed by the fastball. And they are now loaded up for Victor Martinez.
I don't know if that hit him. Let's hope that we have slow enough motion to see.
Yep, off the
back shirt, maybe.
Bottom of the arm, the back arm. So they're loaded up for Victor Martinez, who's hit 2 ground balls for outs. And the Twins are challenging this, or they're contemplating a challenge, I should say, as to whether the ball hit him. There's no, on the replay we showed, there was no.
Well, here's the thing that I see, okay? They wear skin tight under jerseys now. We used to have a little bit more baggy, you know, thing called wool, and it didn't cling to you. So it's awful hard to tell because you don't see any of that material moving.
Right.
It has to hit him almost flush, and I didn't see any deflection from the ball.
When they first contemplated replay, they said hit by pitches could not be reviewed, but then when they enacted it, they included hit by pitches. And Irvin Alston to the mound trying to encourage Barrios to.
Yeah, forget about that. Let's get the guy at the plate.
Right.
There's not going to be a challenge, and quite honestly, I don't know how you overrule that anyway.
No.
You can't see anything, whether it hit him or not, by that view that we had.
A tremendous game 163 the Twins had against the Tigers at the Metrodome. If they had replay, the replay would have shown that Brandon Inge was hit by a pitch. His jersey was hit by a pitch. The Tigers would have scored before the Twins ended up winning the ball game. And now Martinez with the bases loaded and 2 down.
It's probably not the guy you want to pitch to here. The only plus is he doesn't run well.
Breaking ball taken for a strike. So far tonight, a ground ball to short and a ground ball to Morrison at first. Twins infield playing it pretty straight up and deep. Right side of the infield, both Dozier and Morrison are in the outfield grass. Fouled back, 2 strikes. And again, we've seen Nobody on base, 93, and then somebody's on base and an extra tick or two on the velocity.
You know what also I've noticed about Berrios, and this is typical of all pitchers, the game sort of slows down when you have base runners. But he really works fast when nobody's on base and he's in the windup, almost to a point, in my opinion, where he could take a little bit more time. He doesn't have to work quite that fast. It's always a case where they encourage you to work quickly. But when there's guys on base, he takes a little more time, and we've seen now that he's always ahead in the count.
0-2 to Martinez. Ground ball right side. Morrison has it. He'll run it half the way there, and Berrios stomps on the base, and the Tigers leave the bases full. It's still 2-1 Twins. Cup in Russia is just hours away, and here's a first look at the Fox Sports studio at Red Square in Moscow. Rob Stone, Ali Wagner, Kos Hiddink, and Alexei Lalas preparing for the opening broadcast on Thursday. Impressive backdrop of the Cathedral of St. Basil the Blessed. And as a reminder, you can watch every match live with over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event starts tomorrow only on Fox and FS1. Miguel Sano will lead off the 6th inning against a new Detroit pitcher, right-hander Buck Farmer. It'll be Sano, Grossman, and Morrison. The Twins have been stuck in the mud since the first 3 batters got hits or reached and scored the first 2 runs of the ball game. They've not had a base hit since Morrison's single in the first inning. So Boyd settled down, but now the Tigers hand the game over to their troublesome bullpen. 1 strike to Sano, a fly ball to right, and a strikeout looking. Check swing, and he took it a little bit low. 1-1. Sano not at all sorry to see Boyd go. He's now 3 for 20 against him with 13 strikeouts. Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Five innings for Boyd, 2 earned runs, just 3 hits allowed. 1-2 to Miguel Sano. Fastball got him, 96 miles per hour, and Sano strikes out for the 2nd time.
Buck Farmer has found a way here in the last year or so to increase his velocity. He never threw this hard, but he just went right after Sano and blew the ball by him. One down, and now Robbie Grossman 0 for 2.
and just off the outside corner. Twins with a 3-man bench, and tonight that bench consists of Kepler, Garver, and Cave. Grossman taps it foul, 1-1.
It really pays to be a switch hitter if you possibly can. Think about all the Twin switch hitters that are in the lineup tonight. Adrianza, Escobar, Grossman.
Strike called on the outside corner. Farmer, who can throw 96, we've seen that. Secondary pitch in the upper 80s. 1-2. And fouled back.
I just don't remember when he came up. First of all, I don't remember him being as big as he is. He's certainly growing and getting stronger, but the velocity was never anywhere close to this. You can see it's max effort though.
Just missed the inside corner at 95. Good pitch. And that was inside, right under the umpire's mask. 2-2. And now 3-2. We've seen Farmer as a starter, and maybe this is the role that he'll succeed at.
Yeah, he never had the durability to get much beyond the 5th inning. And now in the bullpen, of course, the velocity tends to pick up a little bit because you're not pitching every day and don't have to go as deep.
He struck out Sano. Now he walks Grossman, and then he'll bring up Logan Morrison.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent to the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Throughout the minor leagues, Farmer was almost exclusively a starting pitcher, and most of his time in the big leagues has been that as a starter prior to this year. 11 big league starts last year and an ERA of 6.75, so that wasn't working. Morrison takes low, ball 1. Too many hits, too many home runs, 9 of them in 48 innings, and too many walks. Well, he wouldn't be the first failed starter to go into the bullpen and be successful pitching 1 inning at a time. 1-0 to Morrison. Big pop up behind third, chased by Candelario, and he makes a fair ball catch. Morrison retired. 2 away, and that'll bring up Adrianza.
Well, in a day and age where pitch count has become what it is, 100 pitches is kind of the barometer for all starters. Matthew Boyd faced 21 hitters and just 4 first pitch strikes. And now you think about the fact that he only gave up 3 hits, 2 runs. They were all in the first inning. So he had a tough first inning, 36 pitches. And that's what really was his demise. Otherwise, he'd still be out there because he was pitching well. And the Twins kind of quit figuring out how to get on base with him.
Down and away to Adrianza, now hitting as a left-handed batter.
I remember Tom Kelly always telling us, be prepared for the start of the game. Whether you were a position player, they always said get ready for that first pitch. And for us pitchers, whatever it takes in the bullpen, go to the mound and be ready to pitch. Didn't always work that way, but that was the plan.
Strike called, 1-1. The Twins are going to have to find a way to do something with these left-handers who spin the ball a lot, because they did virtually nothing against Hardy last night, and other than the first inning ambush, they did nothing against Boyd tonight. Outside 2-1. in the Cleveland series. Well, the Twins won't face any left-handers. They got a couple tough right-handers they got to face.
They do.
Friday night it'll be Kluber, and then Saturday late afternoon it will be Carlos Carrasco, whom they handled pretty well at Target Field.
Now the good news for the Twins right now is all the relievers coming out of the bullpen for the Tigers are right-handed pitchers.
Twins will face right-hander Michael Fulmer tomorrow. First pitch at 12:10 Central Time tomorrow.
Talking to Ron Gardenhire before the game today, you said, you know, Coleman, the guy that came in and had a little struggle last night, says he's been really good for us, and last night he just misfired a few times. Didn't have the greatest results, ended up losing the game last night.
You get a little piece of that action, don't you? Jack Morris jerseys here at Comerica Park.
I'm just trying to see if that's one of my kids that didn't tell me they were coming to the game. And that would impress me, you know. They'd probably rather wear a Red Wing shirt or some hunting outfit.
Three and two, the count to Adrianza, the runner at first. Grossman will take off early. Adrianza trying to extend the inning for Ryan Lamar. Called third strike. Came inside with the fastball. He nearly got a strike called on it earlier in the at-bat. He got it to end the at-bat. We go to the bottom of the sixth.
With hashtag Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
A 2-1 ball game. And John Hicks will lead off the sixth against Jose Barrios. 81 pitches thrown by Barrios. Would like to have a quick sixth, so maybe they could send him out for the seventh inning. But he'd like to have a clean inning with no runners on base. He hasn't had one of those since the first inning. Strike one to Hicks.
Starts with that leadoff guy. You've got to go after the first guy. You still have a one-run lead, so be aggressive in the strike zone.
And Hicks swings through. Strike two.
Yeah, Jose doesn't have his real good fastball tonight. He hasn't shown it at least that much tonight. The ball isn't really jumping out of his hand, but he's pitching. And that's what happens in this game is the more you're out there, the more you got to be creative.
That that really stung Wilson.
Yeah.
And they're going to have Paul Molitor and the trainer coming out.
Right above the collarbone in the neck, above that chest protector. Might have got his wind taken out. Oh, it's stuck there.
And Barrios patted his chest right away, saying that's my bat. He didn't want to throw that one in the dirt, and it got in under the face mask and looked like it got him right in the Adam's apple.
Tony Leo, the trainer out there, and of course what do trainers do? They start pushing on the part that hurts. Does that hurt? Of course it hurts.
You know, that almost looks like a chiropractic concern, reaching behind him and making sure his neck is okay from any whiplash or anything.
Catchers are tough guys, and it's an abusive position. Take another look, the ball in the dirt, and gets underneath that chin guard.
One and two to Hicks. And a base hit through the shifted infield, and Hicks is aboard with a leadoff single.
Well, that was good hitting right there by John Hicks. The ball was down and away, pretty darn good pitcher's pitch, but he went down and got it and hit it hard right there between no man's land. Look at that pitch off the plate away. So that was a good location, but obviously he was looking to go out there.
Leadoff man is on here in the sixth, and Nico Goodrum will bat. He hit a home run against his longtime minor league teammate Jose Barrios, and then Barrios struck him out looking in the fourth. Fouled back, strike. Seems like we've had more of those foul balls rather than swings and misses in Barrios's at bats tonight.
Well, he hasn't. One thing he hasn't done much of. He hit the one hitter there in the forearm, Candelario, but he hasn't pitched in very much tonight. And you saw that last hit by John Hicks. You throw it in there once in a while, you are not ever going to get a swing like that. But when they're starting to get confident and know that you're going to stay away, that's when they can reach out there. And I mean, it was really good hitting, but it's also, you got to take it upon yourself as a pitcher not to allow those kind of swings.
87 pitches thrown, 19 foul balls.
Good changeup there.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2.
Haven't seen a lot of changeups, but that was a good one, down and away. Well, he's hit a home run down and in. He's struck out on a fastball and really hasn't shown that he can hit a good fastball. And now they're going to go up in the zone.
That's hit to the right field corner.
And he hit a good fastball.
And it bounces into over the wall for an automatic double.
Roundabout double. Hicks will have to go back to third.
And Goodrum, in just a handful of games against the Twins, has 3 doubles and 2 home runs.
Well, a tough start to this inning. Now, if you're Paul Molitor, you got a tough decision. He struck him out on that pitch. And this time Goodrum's ready, barrels it up, ball hits the ground and bounces over the fence. Ground rule double, runners at second and third, nobody out.
Well, we mentioned at the outset Barrios was hoping for a quick inning, and it will be anything but that. Second and third, nobody out. Griner at the plate, ground ball to first and a strikeout. The Twins will play the infield back. On the outside corner, a strike. Barrios had to pitch out of a mess in the third and again in the fifth. He left the bases full. And now right out of the chute, the Tigers put a threat together in the sixth. Swing and a miss. 2 strikes.
Well, he needs a strikeout right here. There's times that is really important. This is one of them.
Pitching to the bottom third of the Detroit lineup. Ryan Presley's getting loose.
Pitched in last night's game, Ryan did.
Griner batting, Iglesias on deck, and then Reyes. Got him on a check swing, and Wilson can't find the ball, and now throws to Morrison right over the right shoulder of Griner. And as you mentioned before, the guy's 6'6" running down the line. That was a tough throw for Wilson to make.
Yeah, he doesn't have time to clear the baseline. By that I mean going to his left and getting way inside so that he has better angle to throw to Logan at first base. You see, he blocks the ball, and that's kind of courageous after what just happened. And then he doesn't find the ball right away. Got to go back and get it. He's got to get rid of it.
Be curious. It doesn't matter because they got the out, but it almost looked like Griner dropped his bat and then stepped on it and it made contact with the ball, and whether the Twins might have called obstruction on that play. Here's Iglesias, second and third now, one down, and a fastball, strike one. Iglesias doubled leading off the third, but only got as far as third base. Then there was a line drive cut off by Rosario in the corner in the fifth inning. Squirted foul. And in an at-bat where Barrios really could use a strikeout or a pop-up, Iglesias doesn't do much striking out. 228 at-bats and only 26 strikeouts. In this day and age, that stands out. Barrios ahead of him, 0-2. He swung at it. It may have hit him in the thumbs.
That's getting in the kitchen right there. And that's an emergency hack. That's what we used to call him for the hitter. I don't know what he was swinging. He was committed. He was going to swing.
So he pitched inside with 2 strikes to Iglesias. See where the next pitch is. There's strike 3.
Wow.
But that's how you go after a hitter too, isn't it? Yep. 2 strikes up and in, then you got the sweeping breaking ball 2 away.
Well, that's exactly what he didn't do to John Hicks. And by coming back up in there that second to last time, then Iglesias is thinking in, and look at that feeble hack right there because of it.
Reyes will bat. And the Tigers are in danger of wasting another golden scoring opportunity. Barrios affording a smile to Goodrum at second base, saying, "I'll get you next time."
Well, we've said it too many times again tonight, but critical at bat here. Barrios has got 1 out to get, and it's been a stressful inning with 2 guys starting the inning with back-to-back hits.
Outside, it's interesting because Reyes last time bunted towards Dozier and got a bunt single, but undaunted, Dozier standing back by the outfield grass. Reyes is hitting just 154 from this side of the plate. That's lifted to left.
Oh no, come on in.
And Rosario comes in to put it away, and Barrios pitches out of trouble effectively again in the 6th. It is still 2-1 Twins. double in the third, left runners at second and third when there was only one out and the runners were both in scoring position. Then in the fifth inning, he left the bases full. And in the sixth, a single followed by a double to start the inning, and he got out of all three jams.
Yep, that's pitching. And that's why you have a great ERA. That's why you're giving your team a chance to win.
On a night when they've done very little again offensively.
You know, they have 3 hits, and they were all in the first inning.
And the guy who gave up the grand slam last night, Warwick Southpole, comes in.
No, this is
Drew Verhagen. I beg your pardon. Drew Verhagen.
12th game. You see the numbers for him this year. High ERA. And too many walks compared to strikeouts. But Twins need to generate some offense here.
See if Lamar tries to bunt his way aboard.
Did a nice job of that last night. Laid down a perfect bunt. Got by the pitcher on the right side.
And he takes a fastball for a strike. Lamar, Wilson's on the on-deck circle, and then Dozier facing Verhagen. Down and away, 1-1. Twins with just 3 hits. They all came in the first inning.
So you got a 6'6" catcher catching a ball from a 6'6" pitcher. These boys are big.
He's got to be the tallest catcher, right? I mean, there hasn't been anybody taller, has there?
I don't know.
1-2 to Lamar. Crack just wide of the bag, foul. Sandy Alomar was what, 6'5", 4 maybe.
Yeah.
One and two. I think Sandy had Joe Mauer beat by an inch or two. Mauer, by the way, went 0 for 4, but he played all 9 innings at first base. And so the assumption is Joe will get tomorrow off and will at least be with the club Friday in Cleveland, if not in the lineup. 2-2 to Ryan Lamar. Back to the glove of the pitcher, and Verhagen flips to first, 1 down. Bobby Wilson will hit, but first we'll hear from Audra Martin.
Guys, a few days ago I was walking from the clubhouse out to the field and I could hear a couple of the players behind me, and one of them said, guys, how awesome is this opportunity we have today? How lucky are we that we get to go out and play baseball? I turned around and it was Bobby Wilson, and I have to tell you, he was not being facetious. That was 100% sincerity, and I asked him about it the next day, and he said it's because for the first time in a long time he's truly enjoying playing the game. He admits that spending all of last year in AAA was pretty tough. That, you know, when you're in the big leagues for so long, you realize you kind of take things for granted, and then all of a sudden when you're in AAA you realize just how precious every day is. So while some guys may have hung it up after last year, Bobby felt in his gut he still had something to give to a big league team, and he said, regardless of numbers, I want to make an impact, and that impact is making sure my teammates realize just how lucky we are every single day that we get to go out and play the game we love. Guys?
Well said.
Last year he spent the entire year at Oklahoma City, the Dodgers AAA team, and then found out late in March that he did not make the 25-man roster, and he had another high chopper over the mound. This could be interesting. Barehanded, and Wilson still thrown out by a step with Nico Goodrum making a nice play.
Catcher's curse.
2 down. But Wilson had to spend some time pondering whether he wanted to give up baseball. He did not want to spend the entire year at AAA again. He still had some hopes of being up here in the big leagues, and it's worked out well for a really classy guy. 2 down, and now Brian Dozier. He's reached twice on being hit by a pitch and walking, and then he popped up fouling out to Candelario in the 5th. Strike 1. Up and in. It's been said for years that it's the hardest thing to do in sports, hitting a round ball with a round bat, hitting it squarely. And Brian's doing the first part, but he's not doing the second part. He's hitting the ball, just not driving it. There's a fly ball to center, and retreating is Martin. And Verhagen has a 1-2-3 7th.
Well, it's been a battle for Jose Barrios, but when he needed to get outs, he was able to. Guerrero strikes out on a check swing for the first out. Iglesias, after being brushed back, gets another slider, and then Reyes pops out for the third out of the inning. You see the Tigers are 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. So good job by Jose Barrios, and that'll be the end of the night. You see the new Twins pitcher, Ryan Presley.
Ryan Presley coming in. Had a scoreless outing his last time. In last night's game, gave up a hit and a walk, but got out of the inning. This is where you'd like the Twins bullpen, starting with Presley, to just nail it down. Tigers have had ample opportunity. There's a pitch down and in, ball one. Tigers have had ample opportunity to not just tie it up, but open up a lead of a few runs, and they haven't taken advantage of it. So now it's the bullpen's job to make sure they don't have that opportunity again. Up and away, now it's 2-0.
Well, it's interesting that Paul would bring in Ryan Presley in this situation. Close game. Twins are up by a run, and he worked in last night's game an inning, and he needs 3 innings out of his bullpen.
Martin with a healthy swing and a miss, 2-1. Martin's got some pop. He's got 9 home runs. Fly ball center field, and Lamar comes in about a dozen steps, puts it away, 1 down. And that'll bring up Castellanos. Well, the Twins scored late, and the Tigers didn't score enough late. You look at what happened with the bullpen. Presley, Duke, Hildenberger, and Rodney all with effective outings. It's our DQ combination. One down. Twins got 4 runs in the 7th, another run in the 8th. The Tigers didn't score after the 7th. Here's Castellanos. Swing and a miss. Castellanos has had a couple of frustrating at bats because he came up in the third with runners at second and third and one out. Barrio struck him out. And he came up with runners at first and third and one out, and Castellanos popped up to Morrison.
Well, climbing the ladder with velocity. Ryan Presley blew the ball right by Castellanos that first strike in 97, then they followed up with that one in 98.
Checked his swing, and it's 2-1. White Sox are leading the Indians in the sixth inning, 2-0. White Sox playing better baseball.
Yeah, they went in and won 2 out of 3 from Milwaukee, and then they split with the Twins, and now they're playing the Indians.
2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2.
No, Ryan has options here now. Curveball that was really good right there. Keep it down like that. Castellanos probably has no chance of hitting it. And the fastball has been very good because it hasn't been over the plate. I'm going to go away with another fastball.
That's driven to right center, but Lamar is there, and Castellanos did a nice job going with the pitch and hitting it with authority, but it's the second out. Target Field's become a top choice for families in Twins territory, celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, bachelorette parties, family celebrations of all kinds. You can schedule your special event in a fully catered Target Field hospitality space available for groups of 16 all the way up to more than 250. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/groups or call 800-33-TWINS. 2 down quickly, and now Candelario. Just missed the outside corner. Candelario 0 for 2 was hit by a pitch his last time up. Barely grazed by a pitch would be more accurate, but he was awarded first base.
Comes right back with it.
Uh-oh.
Presley's not feeling good right there. Something just happened. And Paul Mahler's going to come out and find out what happened. Watch the reaction by Ryan Presley right here. That's usually not a good sign. Tony Leo, the trainer, out.
A couple of years ago, Presley had a pulled lat, and he's not even going to take any warm-up tosses, but it almost looked like his right arm went limp after a delivery. There's a fly ball for the first out.
Yeah, he's breathing a little deep there, and something you can see him grimacing,
but it doesn't.
I don't think it's his arm.
Right. Outside a ball. 2-1.
Well, more than likely this will be his last hitter if he can get the out. He'd love to get through the inning and do his part, contribute.
Bounce foul, 2-2. He did look surprised when the manager and the trainer were coming out of the dugout. So, whatever the issue is, I think you're right. I don't think it's arm related at all. Maybe for some reason having a tough time catching his breath. Breaking ball, and somehow Candelario got a piece of it. That looked like a pretty good pitch. Addison Reed warming up. Would like him to start the 8th inning. 15th pitch for Presley. 2-2 to Candelario. Breaking ball. Whoa. Got him.
Filthy.
He got his bat on the first one and had no chance on the second one. And a clean 1-2-3-7 for Ryan Presley. Because it appears that he's gone to a team that very much resembles the Kansas City Royals team that he helped lead to the World Series in back-to-back years. They got a great bullpen.
Yep.
They're young, they're athletic, they got power.
And he's having a really good year.
Yes, he is.
And he was originally drafted by the Brewers and ended up in Milwaukee in a trade. Can't remember exactly who that was, but it was a pretty well-known trade.
Drive to center field, and Rosario's gone on one pitch. It was a Zach Greinke trade, I believe. One down quickly. Joe Jimenez, the pitcher, and the Twins will probably see a lot of him in coming years. He's been a bright spot in an otherwise disappointing year for the bullpen. And there's a decent chance that he will grow into the closer's job here in Detroit down the road. One pitch, one out, and now Escobar, who drove in the two Twins runs way back in the first inning. You know, the Twins, forget about scoring a run. They haven't had a hit since the first inning. Strike one.
It can really frustrate a manager. Paul Mahler talks all the time about keep at it, keep grinding, you know, add on.
Lifted to right center field and deep, chased by Castellanos. This is hit a long way, and it bounces off the wall, stays in the park, and Escobar has a triple. It really billows out to right center field from 365 out to about 390. And Escobar bounced it off the warning track, and luckily the high bounce just barely stayed in the ballpark.
It's a little tiny curveball that stays over the middle of the plate. And this guy never ceases to amaze me how much power he has. This ball's hitting one of the deeper parts of the ballpark. One hops the wall.
Fan reached over and tried to interfere with it. It would have been potentially fan interference, which does not necessarily mean two bases. Infield in now for Sano. Up the middle, off the pitcher, and Escobar can't come home, and Sano is retired. And Jimenez, sprawled on the back slope of the mound, pops up and says, "I'm ready to go." I don't know where that hit him, but it was a hard one hopper. And Escobar couldn't pull the trigger on a sprint home.
That'll go down as a 1-6-3 putout. We'll see it here. Looked like he got him on the inside shin of the left leg. Never got his glove on the ball.
And now 2 down, and Grossman will try to deliver a big 2-out hit. On replay, you could see the Jimenez knocked the ball down with the glove. Here's the bounce off the warning track, and it bounced off the top of the wall, and the fan in the orange shirt tried to reach out and grab it. And that would not necessarily have meant 2 bases, but it would have been at the umpire's discretion to see whether Escobar would be granted third base instead of second base.
Well, prior to Escobar's triple there, the Twins had 23 hitters in a row without a hit. So now they need to capitalize it. We're not getting a lot of them. He's standing 90 feet away or less than that. Let's get him in.
Down and in, 2-1. Twins got a big hit with 2 out from Sano in the 8th inning yesterday that drove in a big insurance run. Now they're looking for one from Grossman. Fouled away, 2-2.
Well, Jimenez just see signs of why they're so excited here in Detroit. 97 right there, and it looks pretty effortless. He doesn't have that violent type of delivery that looks like he's giving you max effort.
Two and two to Robbie Grossman. Fouled away. Right now, Shane Green is the Tiger closer, but you can imagine down the road as the Tigers, if the Tigers fade out of contention, that Green might be moved to a contending team, if not as a closer, at least a veteran reliever, setup guy. 2-2 to Grossman. Now 3-2 with Morrison on deck. Grossman drew a walk in the 6th. Fouled back. Escobar with a healthy lead at third. And another foul.
He's making him work out there. It's amazing how baseball evolves. Jimenez throwing 97. Generation ago, nobody could touch 97, but no pitchers were throwing that hard either.
Another 3-2.
Now everybody can foul him off like it's nothing. There's another one for Robbie Grossman.
And there are hitters who have had a hard time upgrading to the velocity. Chris Davis of Baltimore, they're saying one of the reasons he's really struggled is now everybody, particularly the relievers, are throwing mid-90s or above, and his swing can't catch up with that velocity. Another 3-2 to Robbie Grossman. Swung on and missed. He threw him a breaking ball to end the at-bat. Escobar with a 1-out triple. He's left there, and it is still 2-1. second inning, and Nico Goodrum's solo home run. And Addison Reed, who's gotten a couple of days off, coming in to try to pitch a scoreless eighth, and the Twins hope set up the ninth inning for Fernando Rodney. He'll face the middle of the Tiger lineup, starting with Victor Martinez. And important to keep this guy off the bases because he likely, should he get on base,
he'll be
pinch run for.
Exactly.
Got Jacoby Jones, a pretty fleet-footed guy on the bench. So Reed to Martinez. Fouled away. Martinez has gone 0 for 3. 3 ground ball outs. And he left the bases full with his ground out to Morrison in the 5th.
No, I guess if you're going to have to pitch this guy, it's good that this is the 3rd time he's led off an inning. He led off in the 2nd and led off in the 4th.
Fouled away, 2 strikes. A few days ago, Ron Gardenhire made the decision to drop Martinez down in the batting order, and now he finds himself back in the cleanup spot in the absence of Miguel Cabrera. 2 strikes to Martinez. Breaking ball, tap to the right side. Morrison is there, and Reed is there. 4 ground ball outs for Victor Martinez, 1 down. Brian the dog, today is your day. Hope you've enjoyed watching the game with your owner Christopher tonight. He just won $100 in scratch tickets for being our feature in tonight's Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle. If you're game for a little excitement, say I'm in. Well, you can only imagine how a dog would scratch off the tickets, but congratulations, I guess.
They do more scratching than we do.
Here's John Hicks, singles his last 2 times up. Now line foul.
Brios really pitched Hicks away all night. It'll be interesting to see if maybe with Wilson he has Addison Reed try to come in a little bit. He's got a lot of power, so they're trying to be cautious.
Take strike 2.
Good pitch.
Reed had kind of a rocky string of week and a half, giving up runs in
home runs.
3 of his 4 games. Now a liner to center, and Lamar gets in front of it. Hicks has his 3rd straight single.
Mistake pitch right there, and Hicks just able to keep the barrel above the ball there. Chopped at it. See how high this pitch is. Hard to keep the barrel of the bat above it, but he did a nice job of staying on top of it.
And Hicks will be pinch run for.
3rd straight single for Hicks.
And the batter is Nico Goodrum, and the Twins need to find a way to get him out, or at least keep him from getting an extra base hit. Ronnie Rodriguez is the runner. And Goodrum takes a strike on the outside corner. Goodrum with a home run in the 2nd and a double in the 6th. And remember, his double bounced over the wall in right field with Hicks at first. And the Twins, if we didn't say it, we at least thought it. They caught a break for the time being. Hicks was stuck at 3rd base. Nobody out in the inning, so really didn't think that much of it. But then Barrios went to work, got out of the inning, and the fact that the automatic double bounced over the wall kept the Twins in front 2-1. 0-2 now to Goodrum. Ground ball up the middle, his 3rd hit tonight. Rodriguez will hold up at 2nd. On an 0-2 pitch, Goodrum gets a base hit, and the tying runs at 2nd with 1 out.
Well, he's had a great night at the plate. Let's see where this pitch was. Curveball, pretty darn good location, you know. He's covered every part of the plate. Up and in, down and in, and now down and away with that breaking ball right there from Addison Reed.
And now Griner, who has bounced out and struck out twice. Well, Reed coming right after the hitters, getting ahead of them, but he's given up a couple of base hits with 1 out.
That was a mistake pitch to Hicks, but that one right there is a pitcher's pitch. You just got to tip your hat to Nico Goodrum.
It's his night. He's a triple short of the cycle. See if Reed can get a ground ball hit at somebody here. Low ball 1. And Reed, I think he was talking to Bobby Wilson. I think he was talking to Tim Timmons. Take a look where this pitch was.
Well, it's a borderline pitch on the knees. When you're 6'6", that looks a little lower than maybe most guys.
And now 2-0. Presley had a 1-2-3 7th. Barrios had a 1-2-3 first, but there have been threats throughout. Yet the Tigers have just the solo home run by Goodrum. 2-0 to Grayson Greiner. Squirted down the line, a base hit. Rodriguez will score, and it's a tie game. Weakly hit between Morrison and the line, and the Tigers finally do tie it up.
Tigers have been putting pressure on the Twins almost every single inning. And right here, Addison Reed, we're going to get to take a look at the pitch. See where this one is. Pretty much up and in. And the old look to left, hit it to right swing, but it gets by Logan Morrison at first base. And the Tigers tie the game.
3 straight singles. And Iglesias will bat with the go-ahead run at third. Well, it's a 2-2 game, and don't like giving up late inning leads, but just underscores the futility of the at-bats from the first inning on for the Twins.
Yeah, 23 hitters in a row without a hit before Eduardo Escobar gets a triple, and then they leave him at third base. So no decision for Jose Barrios. 6 good innings of work. Nobody in the Twins bullpen right now, so this is all on Addison Reed to get himself 2 outs.
Twins are bringing the infield in here. Iglesias, as we've said in his last at bat, tough guy to strike out, then he proceeded to strike out.
Well, we need him to hit a sharp ball right at Adrianza.
Swing and a miss. Goodrum with speed, good speed at third base. So not only the infield shortening up a little bit, but the center fielder and the right fielder are playing a little shallower than normal.
Well, Iglesias tried to hit that ball up to his pitcher up on the scoreboard.
And now 2 strikes to Iglesias.
For the most part, Reed has been throwing strikes, getting ahead of almost every hitter.
Barrios struck him out in the 6th, just the 27th strikeout for Iglesias in more than 200 at bats. 0-2 from Reed. Lifted to short right field. And it is Grossman making the catch.
Get rid of it.
And yes, please. After we pretty much buried Leonis Martin for not getting the ball back in the infield.
Well, he was looking for a cutoff man. That's the only reason he didn't throw it. He had Dozier and Morrison right next to him, and nobody seemed to kind of come across from the left side of the infield to be the cutoff man.
And now Victor Reyes will hit with first and third and 2 away. Matt Belisle getting loose, just acquired yesterday. And I know there are 2 outs, but bunting is a part of Reyes's game, and he's already gotten 1 bunt single. And Dozier's still playing the deep second base he was playing in the 6th inning. Strike 1 from Reed.
Good to see Reed getting ahead of the hitters.
Reyes ended the 6th inning with a fly ball to short left caught by Rosario. And now 2 strikes to this guy.
Well,
he's gone 0-2 on what, 4 of the batters this inning?
He needs to throw the same pitch, same location. That was not a good swing. Maybe go, if anything, go a little bit further away.
2 strikes to Reyes.
Don't speed up his bat with an off-speed pitch of any kind.
And he fouled it straight back.
He also left it over the middle of the plate.
Goodrum at third. He's had a 3-hit night tonight. The Twins team has only gotten 4 hits. Slap to left field, a base hit, and the Tigers take the lead. An 0-2 pitch, lined sharply to left. 4 singles in the inning against Addison Reed.
Well, he saw 4 of those, and he ended up hitting the last one hard to the left side, and nothing Aire could do on that pitch.
And now Martin will bat. What, 3 of the hits on 0-2 pitches? Martin, a single, a walk, a strikeout, and a fly ball. Seventh man to bat here in the 8th inning. Nice save by Wilson again. Ball 1. Twins have been out hit 11-4, and now they've been outscored 3-2. Hit right field. Grossman charges. They're going to send the runner, and the throw way up the line.
Nobody at home.
Into the crowd with Reed not backing the throw up. He was there but couldn't reach it, and 2 runs will score.
Well, it's a base hit to right, and Martin goes to second on the throw and then is awarded third because the ball went into the seats. Well, maybe he won't be awarded third.
He's going back to second base. But Grossman's throw over the cutoff man, over the catcher, and the ball landed in the on-deck circle. So a rough outing for Addison Reed. 5 singles allowed. Error will be charged to Grossman. And 4 runs have scored here in the 8th. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. And powered by Ram Trucks, built to serve. They've had a little fun with the Rally Goose slogan here after the Canadian Goose had a hard time getting out of Comerica Park. And the Tigers have picked up 5 singles to score 4 runs. And now Matt Belisle will come in to try to get the final out. He'll face Castellanos, and the Tigers have opened up a 5-2 lead. To right field, Grossman with the catch. A lot of work to do for the Twins. They haven't scored since the first inning, and they need to score 3 in the ninth. Wednesday, June 20th at the University of St. Thomas night at Target Field. A limited number of St. Thomas theme night packages are available that include a game ticket and a purple and gray Twins cap. You can learn more at twinsbaseball.com/St. Thomas or call 833-TWINS. Twins are hoping to get their closer into the ball game, and instead it's Shane Green, the Tiger closer.
And some other changes. Nico Goodrum is moved over to first base, and Rodriguez now at second base. There's Ronnie Rodriguez, came in to pinch run.
And the Twins, again, 2 runs. In fact, the first 2 batters of the ball game came in to score in the first inning, and the Twins haven't scored since. Here's Logan Morrison to start the top of the ninth. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Morrison, Adrianza, Lamar are scheduled. Kepler, Garver, and Cave are available. So they're going to have to obviously turn the lineup over and get to the Doziers and Rosarios and Escobars of the world here, down by 3 runs. 1-1. Garver, back there. Cave.
Kepler.
And Kepler's the first one who might get in. He's got the helmet on. Little bit low, and it's 2-1.
Well, they're hoping for their chance, and we need base runners for that to happen.
A lot of home runs allowed by Green. 31 in the 3rd inning, 6 long balls, 30 hits. Missed. Oh, inside corner's called, and it's 2-2. Green came over from the Yankees, jumped into the starting rotation, got off to a great start a few years ago, and then it seemed like everybody figured him out. Now moved to the end of the ball game. Fouled back 2-2.
And you look at his sheer stuff, and it doesn't really match up to Joe Jimenez.
Right.
And you can see maybe that someday that transformation will happen, but as long as Shane Crean is doing his part as the closer, he'll remain there.
2-2 to Morrison. Up, and it's 3-2.
Last pitch looks like it's a strike as far as where in that box it's caught, but home plate umpire Tim Timmons, I think, has done a pretty good job. He's been consistent tonight for both sides.
Full count to Morrison. Driven to left and deep. Reyes is chasing it, and he gets there on the edge of the track, one down. Leading lady is taken care of by Reyes in the corner. Check out what's next, brought to you by Century Link. Your link to what's next. Lance Lynn making the start for the Twins tomorrow against Michael Fulmer. And we'll have the pregame starting at 11:30 Central.
Well, I think the Tigers really have considered, up until maybe the numbers you're seeing there, Michael Fulmer being their ace ever since Justin Verlander was traded down to Houston.
Adrianza the batter, Kepler on deck, and there's strike one. Just 4 hits for the Twins, just 2 runs, and they couldn't have scored any earlier than they did. Twins got a hit batter, a double, and a single, and had 2 right out of the chute. Now 2 strikes to Adrianza.
Yeah, and you know, when you go that long, 8 innings without really producing any run production, it feels like you're getting no hit.
And 1 hit since the first inning, and that was Escobar's 1-out triple, and he was left at third base. 2 strikes to the Twins shortstop. And now 1-2. Green's got 15 saves.
Max Kepler has come up to the on-deck circle, so he will hit for Lamar. Hopes that he'll have Adrianza at first base.
Just off the outside corner. He didn't miss by much. 2-2. If Green gets the save, he will have saved half the Tiger wins. 32 wins. This would be his 16th save. 2-2. 2 away, and Kepler will try to keep the game alive.
And he runs a slider right underneath the hands and the swing of Adrianza.
Kepler 0 for 2 as a pinch hitter. He's pinch hitting for Lamar, who's been the most effective pinch hitter. He's 3 for 5. Outside, ball 1. Jake Cave will hit for Wilson if given a chance. And a strike, 1-1. Twins are used to winning here. They've won 8 of the last 9 games here at Comerica Park, including a 4-game sweep in late September last year. 2-1. Foul back. Tiger fans pretty jazzed up here. They've seen bullpen meltdowns quite often this year.
Well, you've got a big lead too, and it's been a while. They're loyal. They understand the game. They're very knowledgeable fans, and they're very supportive fans.
Kepler battling, trying to keep the game alive. The ball dropped by Griner, but he completes the strikeout, and Green gets his 16th save. And the Twins did virtually nothing at the plate after the first inning, and it really came back to burn them. 5-2, the Tigers even the series at a game apiece, and Tom Hanneman, the Twins have struggled to score runs in far too many games this year, and that was the case again here tonight.